Guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ali, and in this video I'll be sharing with you how to search Etsy and print digital files for any season of the year. I'll also be giving you some great styling tips and sharing with you how to create your own gallery wall. I think you'll find lots of great inspiration in this video, so let's jump in and get started. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that you have all the frames on hand that you like. And if you're in need of frames, head over to HomeGoods. They have gorgeous styles for really unbeatable prices. I love these Petal Lane frames. They have a beautiful vintage vibe. And once you have your frames picked out, you want to head back home and get on your computer and go to Etsy.com and then start typing things into the search bar like vintage photo prints or moody spring prints. Whatever season you're in, whatever you're searching for, you're going to find a ton of options. So you really first just want to go with whatever it is that catches your eye. In this case, I went with a spring bundle because I do have a gallery wall. If you watch some of my Christmas videos, I'll link it down below for you where I showed you how to DIY a gallery wall. So if you have a gallery wall like me, then you might want to look for bundles like these, and you'll see when you start clicking into them that a lot of these bundles have tons and tons of prints. And if it's a spring print, they might include an Easter collection like this one. What you really want to be looking for are galleries that have both landscape and portrait, because if you're going to hang your frames both ways, landscape and portrait, you just want to make sure that there's a good variety of prints for you to choose from in both those orientations. So I went back and I started typing in moody spring prints because I wanted to see what kind of darker prints they had that still had that spring vibe. And again, tons and tons of options. This is another mega bundle for $7.54. This is a huge bargain. Over 950 unique prints. They have these vintage style ones that are really sweet and charming. They have a lot of spring florals, a lot of more brighter colors, as well as muted colors. So again, really such a huge bang for your buck if you're not quite sure which ones you want to go with and you just kind of want to have a lot of options on hand. As you scroll through the details of the bundle, you will likely come across a page where it shows you exactly what ratios and what sizes you can print these photos. And you're going to need this information for when you upload it to a place like Walgreens or CVS or wherever it is that you're going in order to print these. And ratio is less important. You really just want to make sure that you can print these in the sizes of the frames that you have. And it's important to note that these images do not come with the frames. They are simply downloads, but it's always good to scroll through because then you get really good ideas for what types of frames look good that are paired with these specific photos. So maybe you want to pick out your prints first and then go shopping at a place like HomeGoods and decide which frames you want. And then a lot of these sellers will show you how it works. They show you all the files that you will get, everything that's included, so that you have tons of options when it comes to printing these downloads. My suggestion is to just go to what really you are drawn to, because there are just really tons and tons of ideas for you, tons of options, so many different possibilities. So try not to get overwhelmed. Just go with what you're drawn to and then click through and make sure that you have a lot of different variety when it comes to sizes. And once you've found exactly the one you want to go ahead and click on it. This one for me was a no-brainer. It was adorable. It was a 100% add to cart right away for $1.87. I just thought that this was one of the sweetest prints for spring. Thought it was so cute that the bunny looks like it's just peeking out. So all you're going to want to do is put it in your cart, proceed to checkout, and place your order, just like you're buying anything else online. Now, in the upper right corner back on Etsy, you want to go to your purchases and scroll down, and it should be the most recent purchase that you have there. And you'll see that on the right-hand side, there is a button that says download files. So you want to go ahead and click that button. Now I would suggest just downloading all of these so that you have all of your file sizes saved to your computer, but you can see that a lot of these sellers are kind enough to label them with the size that you might need. And then this last sheet right here that says the 503 PDF, these are just the instructions. So when you open it up, it'll show you the instructions. Again, a lot of these sellers are really great about this. They'll add in all this information explaining to you exactly how to download the files. But really, it's just as simple as saving the files to a folder on your computer or your desktop where you can easily locate them, so that you can then upload them to a place like Walgreens or CVS or wherever it is that you plan on printing your files. So I've selected the 8 by 10, I clicked download, and now I'm just pulling it up from my downloads, and I'm going to just drag it into this folder that I created called Spring Prints. So really it's just about being organized, having a place where you know that you can save these files to, so that you know exactly where to pull them from when you're getting ready to upload them. So now I'm going back to my purchases in Etsy and I'm getting ready to download the files from that larger bundle. Since that was a single file, that bunny print was just single, this is the bundle. So it gets a little bit more complicated, but really it's just the same idea. And again, this seller was kind enough to put in a whole section explaining how to download your digital file. You can do it from the Etsy account, and you can also do it from the Etsy app. And then she even gives you a lot of suggestions on where you can go to local print shops and places that you are able to print these files. So I'm going to click download. And once you do that, my downloads pop up and I've got the all sizes and bonus that you see right here. Click on it, click here to download, and that will take you to download all of these files. Again, this might seem overwhelming, but a lot of these sellers, just like this one, place things very easily, very organized. So now I can see that I have all the sizes for the first print, all the sizes for the second print, and so on, all the way through the prints that are in this bundle. So I'm going to click on this first one here, and I see that this one is laid out in a landscape orientation. So it's longer from left to right. I might have a frame that fits this, but I may be also looking for a frame that fits something in maybe a vertical orientation, straight up and down. So this is another one that's landscape, and this will be one that's vertical, straight up and down. So again, if you guys saw one of my previous videos, you have seen that I have several different options for my prints for my gallery wall. So I know that I'm going to need some that are vertical, some that are horizontal. So once I figure out exactly what size I need, I went over to the Walgreens website and I went to photos and then I selected prints. And when you get to this page, you're going to scroll down, you're going to see free same day pickup, and you're going to want to select the prints and enlargements. And once you get here, you see that you can upload several different file sizes here. So they've got 4x4, 4x6, 5x7, 8x10. You just pick whatever size you need for the frame that you purchased. And I like to choose matte instead of glossy. Really, it's just a preference, but I personally like how the matte looks better. I like that they have less shine, especially if you have a frame that has a glass front. So once you've selected them all, you're going to hit order prints, and then that will usually bring you to a place where you need to then upload your photos. So as you can see, I'm clicking upload photos, and I selected the destination that I'm pulling from, which is my computer. And then I'm going to click select photos. Now I go to my spring prints album, and here's where I'm just going to select whichever photos I want to print. So if you're on a Mac, you could hold down Command and select multiple photos at once, or you can just do them one by one, whatever you feel comfortable with. Once you've selected them, you're going to click that open button, and then they should start uploading the photos to the album on, again, whatever site you're on, Walgreens or CVS, etc. You click add to order, and then you should see the items in your cart. And you'll have a lot of steps to go through before you actually check out, so don't worry about getting it 100% right. Now in this case, I'm looking at my cart. I see that I have 2 prints in here, but I decided that I wanted to add a few more. So I go back to upload photos, I go back to select photos, and I'm adding my bunny print to this batch. And then once I do that, I just hit done, view album, and then you want to just hit print entire album. And now you're back to your cart where I can see that I've now added the bunny print along with some of those other prints that I'll be adding to my gallery wall. Then in the top right, you'll just click proceed to checkout and you'll go through the basic steps as if you're ordering anything else online, and you'll get an email confirmation letting you know when your item is going to be ready for pickup. So since I did same day, I went to Walgreens just about an hour later and I was able to pick up my prints. So now that I'm back home, I have that beautiful Petal Lane frame that I picked up from HomeGoods, and I decided that I wanted to put the bunny picture in this frame and add it to one of my bookshelves. So I'm just taking the print. Look how cute this is. It is seriously the cutest, sweetest little bunny print. I'm adding that cardboard back to it just to give it a nice cushion and make sure that it's flush against the front of the frame. And now I'm just styling it. So I'm adding this to one of the shelves of my bookshelf. I want this to be the focal piece for sure, so I'm just layering in some books to the left of it, topping this off with a little bit of a crystal that I picked up from HomeGoods, just to add some visual interest. I'm adding that little planted topiary along with a candle with a footed pedestal that I also picked up from HomeGoods. And I am obsessed with how cute it looks. I think the vintage frame just looks beautiful up against the wood and the bookcase. I love all the styling pieces next to it, and I think that this is perfect not only for spring, but also for Easter. Mentioned earlier the video that I did around the holidays where I created this little gallery wall in the corner of our guest room, and these are the holiday pictures that I had, so it definitely felt like it was time to swap these out for some fresh spring prints. So I'm just removing the frames from the wall on the dresser, and now I'm ready to get to work adding in those fresh new prints that I got for spring. I was so happy with the quality of these prints. They came out so nice. They're exactly what I was going for. I wanted to keep with a kind of a neutral vibe, but also just usher in spring with a little bit of pops of color. So now I'm just taking those frames, and I realized that this frame is actually larger than an 8x10. So I decided that I was gonna flip over one of the pieces from the holidays, and then I just added a little dot of tape and I placed the spring print on top of it. And then I just turned it around so that it gave it kind of that matted look without having the matting actually in the frame. And the rest were as simple as just swapping out the pictures. I took the old one and I just tucked it in right behind it. And I thought this would make it easier for when I'm ready to go ahead and change it when the holidays roll back around. I'll have all my prints right there in the back, just kind of tucked behind the previous season. So for this one, since I had to cut around it, it was a 4x6 picture, I just went ahead and I used the one that I had in there for the holidays as a template. And then I just traced around it with my scissors so that I could have the same size picture in that frame. Same process for this one as well. I used the one that I had done before, but if you haven't done that before, then you can always just take the insert that comes with the photo frame and use that as your template. In this case, I knew I wanted the cottage and I wanted those flowers around it, and since I accidentally printed a picture that was way too big than I needed, I just put the template over the area that I wanted, and then I cut around that, and it wound up being perfect. So now I'm ready to replace these back up on the wall, and it was great that I had already arranged this gallery wall, so it was so easy. I just used command strips and just went ahead and popped them in the same place that they already were, and it just gave this room such a nice spring refresh. I actually had a friend come stay with us recently, so this was a good motivation for me to update this wall. And when you can do something like this, even if it's just creating a small sliver of wall space like I did here, it really does warm up a room so nicely. It creates such a big impact in a very inexpensive way. Between the frames from HomeGoods and the prints themselves, really this was a low budget little upgrade that made such a big impact. I think that it cozied up the guest room and it just gives it a nice fresh spring vibe, and I love how it turned out. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that this tutorial was helpful, and I hope that this gave you a lot of inspiration for your spring gallery wall, or gallery wall for any season, or maybe just to dress up your bookshelves with some beautiful prints. If you did enjoy this video, please consider subscribing to my channel, and please give this video a thumbs up, and I hope to see you guys next time. Thank you and take care.